Hello, hi, welcome to What in the Raid, where we discuss all things Raid Shadow Legends. I would like to dedicate this episode to a blue-framed beauty. I present to you the Rare Appreciation Society. Now, we're not going to start with the usual starter heroes. They have been done a million times, and we will cover them one day, just not today. No. Today we are going to review someone that you may be overlooking in your own roster, because I know I did, and that is Bellower. A beefy, void affinity support champion from the Ogren Tribes faction. One of the first things that stands out when you look at Bellower's kit is that every one of his abilities is AoE. Additionally, every ability plants debuffs that are genuinely relevant throughout the majority of the game. His A1, Frazzle, has a 20% chance of placing the block active skills debuff for one turn, which goes up to 30% with books. And while those are relatively low odds that make you pray to the RNG gods, and then only last for one turn, that is still a very valuable debuff to have on an A1, which is readily available without cooldown. His A2 ability, the Mighty Bellow, has a 50% chance of placing the 15% decrease speed debuff for 2 turns, which goes up to 75% with books, so definitely better odds than the A1. And then finally, his A3, which is Bowl Over. This has a 75% chance of placing the 25% decrease attack buff and a 75% chance of placing a 30% decrease defense debuff for 2 turns. And then these already reasonable odds turn into 100% with books. Another noteworthy detail is that despite being a support champion, he's super versatile. There is no set way to build him, and I highly recommend looking at community resources like Hell Hades and Ayumi Love for inspiration here. He has 3 AoE attacks, which you can leverage differently depending on the build. If you want to use him like a nuke, you can stack him with crit, attack, and just enough speed and survivability to take some turns and get healed. Or you can lean into the utility of his skill set. You can put him in stun gear, stack him with speed, accuracy, and survivability stats, making him a resilient crowd control machine. And if you wanted him to carry your arena teams, there is a dedicated build for that as well. And to complement those specific builds and whichever masteries you end up going for, you've also got the blessings. Now, if you are leaning a little bit more towards DPS or the general PvE build, the Dark Blessing Phantom Touch is a decent pick. But if your Bellower is going to lean more towards arena or pure crowd control, I personally recommend the Harmony Blessing Nature's Bounty, which gives your Bellower a chance to place the greater versions of his debuffs, meaning that your decrease attack, decrease defense, and decrease speed stands a chance of receiving an upgrade. Now, both resources do have like a generic PvE build guide if that is your thing, but as he is a rare and you are likely to get copies, I really do recommend giving him a dedicated role for maximum effect when that duplicate copy does pop out of the portal. And now looking at him, when you combine the utility, the damage capability, the AoEs on every skill, the useful debuffs, and the relative ease of gaining rare skill tomes, I give him a rating of 10 out of 10 for book and build priority. His only real limitation, which isn't a deal breaker, is that his 15% speed aura is restricted to faction crypts. But honestly, that sort of suits the whole Ogren Tribes lore vibe really well. He really doesn't have to lead every encounter. Now, are there better heroes in the epic and legendary listings? Yes, of course. But Bellower is a game changer for an early account, and even mid-game accounts that already hold shinier champions still find him capable of doing the job in Cursed City, Grim Forest, and even Doom Tower, meaning he's never going to be an investment that you regret making. That is why pulling 10 shards at the portal that reveal all blue frames doesn't have to be disheartening. No, they are not the best champs, come on, they are rares, right? But many of them can still make a permanent and useful addition to your toolbox. But go on then, tell me, who's your favourite rare? Thank you for joining me today, happy raiding, bye 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 bye.